Alright, this is Eric Reeds. We're going to be showing you another game between myself and Little River and RS2PK. So his deck is going to be, I'll pull it up here in a second, but he's playing scrambled eggs. It's a good scrambled eggs list from what I can tell. It has a lot of the more modern like innovations and hallmarks of the deck. Um, and I'm going to be playing a deck that I've been kind of workshopping lately, this unown flygon deck. So, uh, in my previous videos, I've kind of talked about how I don't want the videos to be deck profiles, basically. But in this one, the game was kind of short, and I realized like this deck like has not been written about really, and the other decks that I've showed here have pretty extensive articles written on them. So I did want to kind of go through this deck just card by card a little bit. So the idea with this deck is when I was playing Ratlock or playtesting Ratlock with Little River, he was playing this card in the deck because we play Psychic Energies, and Unknown M has an attack that's kind of like the Jirachi Hidden Legends attack. Excuse me. And the cons are that it has less HP, it has a Poke Power, and its attack costs Psychic, not colorless. And it's weak to Psychic, which I guess could be a weakness. And so you might ask, okay, well then why would you play Unknown M over Jirachi? And that's kind of what I was wondering. I was saying, okay, well you can shuffle and get another unknown. So are the other unknowns useful enough? So unknown E is very very strong. It's probably like honestly, I would say this is one of the single best cards in RS to PK. It's just so like stupidly strong. It has such a crazy attack. Um, and I was like, okay, well, let's see if I can use Unknown M and Unknown E into some kind of like psychic attacker deck. And I was looking at the other unknowns, and Unknown C is also pretty interesting. Its attack is basically like Telepass, Gardevoir Telepass. And so you look at your opponent's discard and use a supporter card. So it can be useful for setting up. You can also use it to like get brinies or to get admin and disrupt your opponent. So it's definitely something that I think can be used in the deck. And I was really scrounging to find another one I could use, and honestly, this one is not bad. Like this has put in some pretty decent work for me so far. Unknown why. So it seems pretty unassuming, but the fact that you could do 10 damage and then they might be asleep next turn is surprisingly useful. And it comes up against scrambled eggs because its attack does 20 damage against Executor, which can put it into range of certain other attacks that we'll get into later. And makes them have to flip to do anything. And a lot of decks just like kind of can get annoyed by this. It can buy you a turn. And the important thing is that while most of these unknown are not great in a vacuum, the fact that any one of them can be any of the others is very useful. So you might have a game where you use hidden power a couple of times with this one and set up your Pidgeot and your Flygon, and then they warp point their Jirachi out, and then later in the game you can use Unknown E and drag something onto the bench, and or maybe you use Unknown Y and you sleep the Jirachi after you've already like kind of gotten your stuff set up. So they definitely have some usage, and because we're playing four of them, if we open with any of the other three unknown, we can just immediately shuffle into Unknown M and start using its attack. So that was the logic behind the deck. And so then I was thinking, okay, well, what psychic attacker could I best use this with? And the one I settled on was Flygon EX. This card is crazy strong. It has no weakness, so a lot of decks like Destiny that try to hit for weakness or Flygon or Fossil Box, they can't really like get a good one shot on flygon. So the idea is that you can use psychic pulse and it does a lot of damage. You're two shotting or even one shotting a lot of things with it, and sand damage is just really really oppressive. If you get like an active flygon early into the game and you just are immediately putting the threat of sand damage on, it's like a lot of decks can just fold. Even decks like LBS, which should have a really good matchup against this deck, if I do like 30 damage early on to a bunch of things on the bench, then that can be what decides the game. Um, a lot of the times, it just really helps with taking prize cards. You're gonna find situations where like you only really like quote unquote KO'd, two or three things with Psychic Pulse, but the fact that you're just able to hit everything on the bench with sand damage and then the bench damage is really good. So that's the basic idea. We also are playing Pidgeot because we are using Unknown M to kind of tutor into the rest of the deck. And I did not want to include any other like Pokemon text. We play the one Holland's Cast form because sometimes we might want to attack with Flygon, and it's kind of like a searchable energy off of Mentor. Um, and so that's all that it is for the Pokemon. We play three of this Trapinch. I just think Bind is generally more useful than the other ones, and we're not playing. We're only playing Psychic Energies. So yeah. So I didn't really want to mess with the other ones, and we play one of this Trapinch because if we start with cast form, then we can mentor and grab this, and then we can draw a card off of Delta Draw from that. Um, Definitely the worse, like the weaker of the two trap inches, but I like it. Just having one. Also, we play two of the Delta Supply Flygon, so if we need to attach two energy to the trap inch, then we can. We can just attach it to the psychic one. Um, we play three Vibrava. Could go down, but I think having the extra consistency of this is useful. I think just having this in conjunction with Unknown M means you're not going to have, a Vibrava prize and then the Unknown M is just kind of sitting there or something. Um, could maybe go down to two, but I think three is fine for now. Very strong stage one though. Bite for 20 is definitely not bad. Sonic Noise for 30 and confusing on EXs is like pretty good, honestly. This also like hits Executor for weakness, which you'll see could come up in the video. And just like the fact that you can do 30 and confuse certain things is pretty useful. Also, it comes up against LBS. One of the reasons the matchup is not that bad is because Vibrava can use Bite on, let's say, an Alakazam star after they energy rained it twice, and now they can't energy rain it twice again. Or you can use Sonic Noise and do the same thing to Lugia EX. Or you can just use Sonic Noise and KO Alakazam after they did the energy rain stuff. So definitely very useful. Um, we've also got just our Pidgey line. We play one of the Delta Pidgey for the same reason. We play one of the Delta Trapinch, which is if we open with Holland's Cast form, we want to be able to at least get some value from that. And also, it's a pitch for the Holland Adventurer, and it's a search target for Holland Researcher. So there's that. I played one of this Pidgeotto. I don't really like the Delta one. I think having free retreat and a usable attack is better than having a Delta Pidgeotto. Um, yeah, so that's it for the Pokemon trainer lineup. Pretty nothing too sexy. For Candy, for Transceiver. We played 3 Windstorm. Could go up, but I was playing with 4 and I didn't really think it was necessary. You should, like, if you KO things, and you, like, the nice thing about Flygon is that Flygon can, like, if flygon like hits itself in confusion, it's not a huge deal. Like you can usually, as long as you're KOing something, eventually it's not the end of the world, and so you can kind of take those risks just because it's so annoying to knock out. Um, anyways, to that end, we played three windstorm. If you hit the windstorm against decks that only play basics, then you should be winning anyways. Sand damage is just so crazy good. And then we play two warp point. To it's our switch card of choice. I'm not playing switch in the deck. Um, warp point can help with SAS. Warp point also can be annoying with sand damage. It it's just like sometimes they won't have many things on the bench because they're afraid of sand damage. You can use warp point to help out with that. Um, and I don't want to play warp energy because it conflicts with the unown. Oh, also unown E, you can use hidden power, put something on the bench, and then that'll get KO'd to sand damage. So if they have like a basic that they don't want to put on the bench, you can like get a cheeky prize card with that. Anyways, so 3 1 storm, 2 warp point for our like anti cess cards, and pretty standard supporter lineup. Got two mentor, a researcher, a scientist, an adventurer, and then triple admin. Um, we also play one elms. Not really sure about like I definitely think the one elms is good. I don't know if you want to bump this up. I don't know what really you would take out. Maybe you could take out Vibrava, put in an elms, but I don't think that's necessary. Um, and the researcher's good. It searches quite a few cards in this deck. We also play Magnetic Storm and Phoebe's Stadium. These both just kind of help make Flygon a better attacker, and they're good counter stadiums. Magnetic Storm means that you can now two-shot Tyranitar, which is, obviously a good thing to have. Also helps with the Dragtrote matchup because now you have a pretty reasonable shot to KO Sneasel sometimes. And then Phoebe Stadium um, is nice for dealing with Stantler. It's nice for dealing with any deck that plays a lot of counter stadiums. You can also play Power Tree in this deck. I don't think you really need to, but if you want another stadium, you could do that one. Hypothetically, you could play a card like Crystal Beach, but I think the decks that lose to Crystal Beach are playing a lot of ways to get rid of it, so I don't think playing one is going to really do much. And devoting both your stadium slots to Crystal Beach is kind of whatever, in my opinion. When they can easily chew through those in most cases, and then one retriever. So honestly, like, and then we play 13 psychics, which is quite a big amount. But you really want to get that attachment every turn, and Flygon, the Delta Flygon can help with accelerating them. So that's the deck, and we've also got the deck that Little River is playing. So if you've never seen scrambled eggs before, this is a pretty straightforward one. So some interesting deck choices in this one are only playing the Delta Execute. I don't really know the logic on which executes to play these days. I haven't really played scrambled eggs with it very much. Um, Going down to two castaways is interesting. Interesting decision. Triple Windstorm. I feel like a lot of these play only two, but this one plays the triple. No heal energy. It opts for the Holland energy in order to permanently heal from special conditions. And then the lightnings to help synergize with that. 3/4 electrode. You don't want to start with Voltorb, and also gives you a way to attack with electrode. And the rest of it seems pretty straightforward. All about consistency. No magnetic storm. Just focusing on the windstorms. And so yeah, I'll show you this game with this deck and or with these two decks rather, and hopefully you can get a sense of how they operate. All right, so now we're going to get into the the game here. So, as I mentioned in the deck profiles, hopefully, well, I mean, I assume future me puts the deck profiles into the video before this introduction of sorts. I'm playing the unknown flygon deck against Little River on scrambled eggs. So the um, the games I've played in this matchup, I've done fairly well in. It seems like there's a lot of luck back and forth, um, but like it's very like coin flip dependent, and I'm curious to see if that continues into today's game. Um, but I think that the like Flygon has a lot of advantages in the matchup. It can be hard for Executor to one shot it, and it has ways of disrupting Executor in kind of difficult to deal with ways. Um, like it's able to use unknown in order to set up. It's able to use unknown in order to disrupt them. You can attack with the unknown that puts things to sleep, and that can buy you a turn. Also, Vibrava is able to actually do pretty well against Executor. It does 40 damage for 1 energy to it, or 60 for 2 energy. Um, so we're both going to take a mulligan here. Um, I do know. Oh man, this is a rough start. I do know Little River's list, and I know kind of what he's playing. Um, so this is Colin's cast form is like the last thing that you want to open with, because you're not really playing any. You want to open with either the trap inch and disrupt, or you want to open with the unknown, shuffle into whatever the best unknown for the situation is. But that's okay. Um, so here, this is actually like, but Helen's Gastorm is not the worst thing to start with either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go. Okay, let me just make sure. Yes, okay. So we're going to grab Mentor. Um, I don't really want to get rid of Unknown E, but I will. So usually with the deck, the idea is that like you don't want to get rid of too many of your unknowns because you want to have the ability to flex into them when you shuffle and attack. But against scrambled eggs, it can be difficult to justify that sometimes. Um, but okay, we're gonna get these, and although you don't want to open with cast form because we're playing one of each of the delta guys, it's not the end of the world. So we can go delta draw, draw two, and we are at least getting something going. Um, it makes cast form like not a great start, but not the worst either. Um, um, Discarding cessation crystal, interesting. So that tells me. Oh, okay. He wait. Oh no. He attached cessation. Discarded scramble. Okay. Um. Okay. So we do play triple windstorm in this deck. The Flygon Delta. I don't know. Like he can definitely pow it up, but the problem is that he can't really like if he pals that up, that means he's not palling up Pidgeot or Flygon EX. So I think that's fine. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna evolve, attach, and I'm not gonna play the adventurer down because I'm just gonna be delta drawing for 3 here. And that warp point. Okay. Well, I guess it doesn't matter now. Okay, so we got Windstorm. Not the best hand, but ooh, okay, gets the Electrode, gets Executor, not what you want to see. Okay. Is he gonna crush and burn? He could. He very well could. Yep. Okay. So, actually, I think we can go into Vibrava here. um, this is a little tricky. He can't really KO like a full Flygon EX, so let me plan for that. I'm gonna go unknown. I'm going to shuffle the unknown into the Y because I know that one will be the most useful. And then here we can just admin our hand away. Not the best, but not the worst either. So he's down a cessation crystal, and Flygon with 2 energy is kind of annoying for him to have to deal with. He can still crush and burn and do some good damage, and then we can't one shot him. But um, we might be able to get around that. Um, let's just see what happens. Okay, so he plays another Master Ball. He does hit the execute this time. Um, Warp Point would be good here. Oh, okay, no, wouldn't be great now. But the fact that like he's putting things on the bench that are going to get damaged from sand damage is useful. Like that's kind of why Flygon EX as just like a straight up attacker seems very good so far in my testing. Sand damage is just like such an oppressive Pokebody, especially with decks like this where he can't really like reliably search for Executor or Electro DX. He kind of has to either hard draw them or play Master Ball or whatever. And he's already played 3. Um, so he's got some options depending on what his hand looks like. Um, he could crush and burn. He could retreat to try to preserve the electrode. Okay, he's just gonna crush and burn for I think 90 here. Um, so let's see what we got. It's kind of dependent on this draw. This is a pretty big draw. Rare candy, of course, would be huge. Um, only doing 50. Interesting. So if he even if he attaches, he can't crush and burn KO me next turn, which is interesting. I'm gonna go Elms for. Actually, do I want to get Pidgeotto? Feels kind of slow almost. Um, Alternative is Vibrava, which could be useful. Yeah, I'll give Vibrava. Um, and okay, yeah, not affected by. Ooh, actually, I'll do this. It could come up that he retreats and I need to do 10 damage to something, so I'll do this and I'll Psychic Pulse. And so now we've got quite a bit of pressure put on him. He kind of has to bomb in order to do anything. Um, So again, we are putting him in a position where, and like what I'm talking about here is like now, even if he bombs or plays Executor and bombs here, um, which is what just happened, if we're able to use Unknown in attack and then Vibrava in attack, then we're just going to knock out the Executor. And that's something that this deck can kind of struggle with. Um, So let's see if he's got the admin. Ooh, second electrode? Ooh, okay, okay, okay. Let's see what we get. Probably gonna get KO'd here. No shot. Oh no. Oh no. That is really rough. Oh, that's so bad. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, so the question is, can we win like on the spot here? Actually, what am I saying? Like, I don't need to KO the electrode because if I, yeah, just gonna attach to this. The thing is, even if he KO'd us, we still had that thing I'm talking about where we just attach the psychic to unknown. Unknown hits it for 20. We attach the psychic to Vibrava. Vibrava hits it for 40, and then it's knocked out. Um, so yeah, I'm just gonna psychic pulse, and then this is gonna put him at gotta have it. And this he can knock out the flygon here. To be fair, so he's gonna knock out flygon, and now we go to Vibrava, and we're just not getting anything. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to warp into unknown, shuffle into the this one. I'm just going to attach. I can evolve my Trapinch, and I'm going to do hidden power and get Pidgeotto. So uh, this feels pretty solid. I've still got the Windstorm in hand, so and he can't. Well, yeah, here you can't really bomb again. If he does nothing, I'm going. Yeah, this is totally fine. Because now I just go into Pidgeotto and I go like this. Quick search for Flygon EX. Flygon EX. Flygon. Delta Supply. Attach the Psychic. And now he can't bomb anymore. He's got one Executor, and it's just going to be pretty rough for him. Um, and this is like kind of where the deck can do well is if against this or against any deck really, if the deck that it's playing against is not able to one shot Flygon and Flygon's able to attack twice, it's like very strong. So he's gonna go for TV Reporter. Um, and let's see what he's discarding. Discards the Windstorm, not going to be useful. And this could be the end of the game. Okay, he's got POW. He's got POW. So he's got POW. He's got a Psychic. Okay. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure that my last card is not the the POW. Just to be on the safe side, I'm going to do this. And quick search. Okay, yeah, there it is. Boom. And that is the game. So let's see if he wants to say anything. But this one was a little bit quicker. Not a whole lot of back and forth, but honestly, a lot of the gameplay with Flygon EX, from what I've seen, is that it really it goes by pretty quickly. It's not like a super complicated deck. You kind of just want to get your Flygons up and then use Psychic Pulse a couple of times, and then that's kind of it. So a bit of a shorter one this time, but hopefully this is able to demonstrate at least some of the potential that I think this deck has. Even against strong decks like Scrambled Eggs, we did get lucky on the big explosion there. But like I said, even if we didn't, we had contingency plans. Like we had unknown, and he wouldn't be able to POW, and we could just use unknown to attack him, and then use Vibrava to attack him. So there was definitely counterplay that was involved if that did happen. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this one, and I will see you all in the next video.